Welcome to our channel. Today, we're bringing you an exciting look at HD Old Coins 51, a collection of fascinating, historic coins that showcase incredible artistry and craftsmanship. Each coin has a unique story, connecting us to a bygone era and preserving the rich heritage of the past. Whether you're a passionate collector or just curious about these rare treasures, this video will take you on a journey through history. Let's explore the beauty, value, and significance of these remarkable coins. Top 1. The 1960 USA 1-cent penny holds a fascinating story, both in terms of its history and its significant value in the world of numismatics. To fully appreciate the importance of this coin, we have to step back into its historical context. The year 1960 was a time of change and transformation in the United States. The country was in the midst of the Cold War, the civil rights movement was gaining momentum, and American culture was evolving. Yet, despite the political and social upheavals, something as small as a penny still played a key role in everyday life. Now, let's talk about the design. The 1960 penny is part of a long line of U.S. coins, but what makes it unique is that it features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln. This portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, was first introduced in 1909 and has become one of the most recognized images on any coin in the world. The obverse, or the front of the coin, displays a bust of Lincoln facing right, with the words Liberty inscribed above and the year 1960 below. On the reverse, we see the simple yet timeless design of two stalks of wheat, which flank the phrase E pluribus unum, the motto that means out of many, one. This wheat design was used on the reverse of the penny from 1909 until 1958, after which it was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial. However, the 1960 penny still carries the wheat reverse, adding an extra layer of historical value for collectors. Now, let's dive into the specifics of the coin's minting. The 1960 penny was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While most of these pennies are quite common, there is one version that stands out: the 1960 small date penny. You see, there was a minor change in the way the date was stamped onto the coins in 1960. The Philadelphia Mint, at one point, used a different size for the number 0 in the year 1960, creating a small but significant variation. This small date version of the 1960 penny is highly sought after by collectors. It is much rarer than the more commonly found large date version, which is why the small date pennies have such a strong appeal. In terms of the coin's value, it's incredible how much this small penny can fetch at auction. While most 1960 pennies are worth just 1 cent, the small date versions can go for a premium. Depending on the coin's condition and whether it's been graded by a professional service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, the value can vary greatly. A 1960 small date penny in excellent condition could be worth anywhere from $50 to over $500 or even more. For example, one of the most notable sales took place in 2019, when a 1960 small date penny, graded MS67 red by PCGS, sold for over $100,000 at auction. This sale sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, proving that even a coin as small as a penny can hold tremendous value in the right conditions. That auction price is a testament to the rarity and desirability of the 1960 small date penny among collectors, making it one of the most valuable pennies in the United States coinage history. In conclusion, the 1960 USA 1-cent penny might seem like just another piece of change, but for collectors, it represents a slice of history, a unique design, and a symbol of how small variations can have big impacts. Whether you're just starting to collect or you're an experienced numismatist, the 1960 penny, especially the small date version, is a must-have in any collection. The next time you find a penny in your pocket, take a moment to inspect it. You never know, you might just be holding on to a rare and valuable piece of history. Top 2. In 1961, the United States was in the midst of a transformative decade, with social change, technological advancements, and economic shifts shaping the nation. But while history was unfolding in the streets and in politics, something quietly significant was happening in the world of numismatics, the world of coin collecting. The 1961 1-cent penny, though often overlooked in the grand scheme of history, is one of those fascinating coins that, while appearing to be a simple piece of currency, holds a much deeper story beneath its surface. Before diving into the details of the coin itself, Let's step back for a moment and look at the 1961 penny in its historical context. The early 60s were a time of transition in the United States, just before the cultural upheaval of the mid-decade. Yet, the penny in 1961 still carried with it the design that had been in circulation since 1909, paying tribute to one of America's most iconic figures, Abraham Lincoln. The portrait of Lincoln, first designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, graced the obverse of the coin, with the inscription Liberty above his head and In God We Trust to the right. This design had been around for over 50 years by the time 1961 rolled around, and it would remain in place until 2009, when the centenary of Lincoln's birth was commemorated with new designs. But the real story behind the 1961 penny isn't just in its design, but in what was happening with its production. The U.S. Mint produced more than 1.3 billion pennies that year, and they were struck in a combination of copper and tin, a formula that had been used for pennies for decades. This was a period before the coin was made of copper-plated zinc, which would come much later in the 1980s due to the rising cost of copper. At the time, the penny's face value of just 1 cent was, of course, very low. But in the eyes of a numismatist or a collector, every coin has the potential to carry great worth, if it is rare, well-preserved, or unique in some way. When it comes to the 1961 penny, you might not think there's anything particularly special about it at first glance, but there are certain variants and factors that have led to its increasing value. There is one primary variant that collectors keep their eyes peeled for: the 1961 penny with a specific mint mark, the 1961 D penny. The D mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is a critical distinction because Denver's production numbers were smaller than those of the Philadelphia Mint that year. That relatively smaller output makes the 1961 D penny somewhat rarer and more sought after. But it's not just the mint mark that makes a 1961 penny stand out. Like all coins, the condition of the coin dramatically influences its value. A coin in mint state, that is, in virtually perfect condition, can fetch a significant price, far above its face value. For example, a 1961 D penny that is in uncirculated, pristine condition might command a price of several dollars, far more than the mere penny it was originally worth. On the other hand, a circulated 1961 penny, one that has been through countless hands and spent years in circulation, will have a much lower value, typically just a few cents. In terms of auction records, the most significant sales of a 1961 penny have been those that meet a very specific set of criteria. For instance, in 2019, a 1961 D penny, graded by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC) as MS67+, a grade indicating excellent, almost perfect condition, sold at auction for just under $1,000. While this is a rare exception, it showcases how the right combination of rarity, quality, and collector demand can push a coin's value well beyond what one might expect. That said, the vast majority of 1961 pennies don't carry such a high price tag. But even so, they are of interest to collectors for a variety of reasons. They represent an important moment in U.S. history, and as with all coins, their value is affected by factors like rarity, demand, and condition. They're pieces of history, carrying with them a story of a bygone era, preserved in the form of metal. For most collectors, owning a 1961 penny is a fun way to enjoy the hobby without breaking the bank. But for those with a keen eye for rare variants or exceptional condition coins, the 1961 penny may just hold hidden potential. Whether you're looking for an affordable piece to add to your collection or aiming for that elusive, high-grade specimen, this coin certainly proves that sometimes the most unassuming items in our pockets can end up being far more valuable than we could ever imagine. So, if you happen to come across a 1961 penny, take a moment to appreciate it. While it may not be worth much at face value, the story it tells and the possibility that it could be a rare, highly sought-after find makes it worth more than just the 1 cent stamped on its face. And remember, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Who knows, that ordinary penny might just turn out to be a treasure. Top 3. In 1964, the United States minted a coin that would go on to play an important role in American numismatic history, the 1964 1-cent penny. While most pennies are considered relatively mundane, this particular year's coin stands out for several reasons, making it a fascinating topic for collectors and history enthusiasts alike. So, let's dive into the story of the 1964 penny. At the time, the U.S. Mint was producing the standard Lincoln cent, which had been in circulation since 1909. However, 1964 was a year of change for the nation. In the midst of political upheaval and growing civil rights movements, the 1964 penny embodied more than just currency, it carried with it a piece of the country's evolving history. But why did the 1964 penny in particular catch the attention of coin collectors? The design on the 1964 penny is the same iconic one introduced by sculptor Victor David Brenner in 1909. On the obverse, we see the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose legacy had only grown since his assassination in 1865. Around Lincoln's profile are the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," in the year of minting. On the reverse side, the coin features two sprigs of wheat, representing the agricultural roots of the nation, with the words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. The wheat design had been a staple on the penny since 1909, but in 1959, it was replaced by a more modern design featuring the Lincoln Memorial. Despite this, some 1964 pennies still had the old wheat design, making them a special subset that holds unique appeal for collectors. The 1964 penny, however, is significant for more than just its design. It's also important due to the material it was made of. Like most pennies at the time, the 1964 1-cent coin was struck from a combination of copper and tin, with a total weight of 3.11 grams. This composition was consistent with U.S. coins since the 19th century. But in the years following 1964, the price of copper soared, and the U.S. Mint began experimenting with other materials, eventually transitioning to a copper-plated zinc coin by 1982. This shift only increased the 1964 penny's collector appeal, as it marked the end of an era in American coinage. Now, here's where the story gets even more intriguing. The 1964 penny isn't just another date in the penny series. It holds remarkable value for the right collectors, especially if the coin has been well preserved or has a unique characteristic. In recent years, a 1964 penny in excellent condition, particularly one with the rare wheat reverse design, has sold for significant sums. In fact, some collectors have been willing to pay up to $1,000 for a single 1964 penny, depending on its condition, whether it's been graded as proof or features any unusual die errors. The demand for high-quality examples and those with rare features has made the 1964 penny an attractive option for investors in the numismatic market. One example that stands out is the 1964 proof penny. These were specially struck coins meant for collectors, made with higher quality and finished with a shiny, mirrored surface. A 1964 proof penny, in perfect condition, can command a price of $1,500 or more at auction. But it's not just the well-known types like proofs or mint errors that catch the eye of collectors. Some 1964 pennies have been found with intriguing flaws, such as off-center strikes or double dies, making them even more valuable in the marketplace. Moreover, the story of the 1964 penny continues to unfold in numismatic circles, with new discoveries and research helping to uncover even more about this piece of history. Some 1964 pennies have been found in rolls of uncirculated coins, some of which have been passed down for generations, now fetching thousands of dollars at auction. These coins, often sitting unnoticed in family collections, have become unexpected treasures for collectors seeking rare pieces of American history. In recent years, at auctions such as the prestigious Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, the 1964 penny has gained recognition as a coin that tells the story of a changing America, one that is both nostalgic and reflective of the times it was minted in. Coins like the 1964 penny act as small windows into the past, reminding us of the country's cultural and economic milestones during the early 1960s. While many people are familiar with the concept of coin collecting, the 1964 penny demonstrates just how much of a difference a single year can make. What seems like an ordinary coin can sometimes reveal so much more when you start to look closer. Whether it's the story behind its design, its historical context, or its growing value in the collector's market, the 1964 penny is far more than just a penny. It's a relic of a bygone era. So, next time you find yourself holding a 1964 penny, take a moment to appreciate not only its historical significance but also its potential value. Who knows? That humble penny in your pocket might just be worth more than you think. Top 4. The 1967 USA 1-cent penny is a fascinating piece of American history, a small coin that holds more significance than its humble appearance might suggest. Let's dive into this seemingly ordinary penny and discover the story behind it. To start, let's understand the context of 1967. The United States was in the midst of social and political change. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, and the Vietnam War was unfolding. In the world of coinage, however, the year 1967 marked a moment of quiet consistency as the U.S. Mint continued to produce the familiar Lincoln cent. But the penny wasn't just a symbol of the times. It carried within it the weight of history, tradition, and, as it turns out, great collector potential. The 1967 penny, like the years before it, was produced primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, with a few coins struck in Denver as well. This coin was part of a long-standing series that had begun back in 1909, with the famous Abraham Lincoln portrait by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Lincoln has appeared on the U.S. 1-cent coin for over a century, becoming an iconic symbol of the nation's resilience, leadership, and dedication to unity. The obverse, or front side, of the penny features a bust of President Lincoln, while the reverse side showcases the classic design of a simple wheat stalk motif. This wheat cent design was used from 1909 to 1958, before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. But in 1967, we were still in the midst of using the wheat cent design, which makes it a fascinating piece for collectors. One unique feature of the 1967 penny is its composition. The coin is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which was the standard formula for U.S. pennies at the time. These metals contributed to the coin's characteristic reddish-brown color, which, over time, can shift due to oxidation, giving older pennies a distinct, aged look. As the years went by, the copper content in U.S. coins began to decrease, eventually leading to the introduction of a copper-plated zinc penny in 1982. This gives the 1967 penny a certain historical value simply because it represents an earlier era of American coinage. But what really makes the 1967 penny stand out among other pennies is the value it can hold in the world of coin collecting. While most of the pennies minted that year are still worth only 1 cent, there are specific factors that can significantly increase its value. For example, the condition of the coin plays a crucial role in its appeal. A penny in mint state, without scratches or wear, can fetch a higher price. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that show minimal signs of circulation, and the 1967 penny is no exception. Additionally, certain rare errors, such as a misstrike or a double die, can add considerable value to the coin. If you happen to come across a 1967 penny with an unusual defect or flaw, it might be worth far more than its face value. In terms of auction prices, the 1967 penny can range from just a few cents to several $100s, depending on its condition and rarity. For example, a 1967 penny in near-perfect condition could fetch anywhere from $10 to $20, which is a substantial premium over its original face value. However, more rare variations, like those with significant errors or in pristine uncirculated condition, can skyrocket in value. At the high end, some 1967 pennies with unique features have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars at auction, especially those that possess a double die or other noticeable minting errors. These types of coins attract collectors looking for something out of the ordinary, making the 1967 penny an interesting option for anyone serious about numismatics. For example, one auction saw a 1967 penny with a double die reverse sell for $375. This particular coin had the distinct feature of a doubled image on the reverse side of the penny, a mistake that occurred during the minting process. While not every 1967 penny will bring in such high figures, this case illustrates just how valuable even a seemingly mundane penny can become when it possesses rare characteristics. So, while the 1967 penny may seem like just another piece of change from the past, it holds a place in the heart of collectors and numismatists. Its historical significance, coupled with its potential for rarity, has made it an enduring piece of American coinage. And, for those lucky enough to find a rare or high-grade version, it could be worth much more than just 1 cent. As we look back on the 1967 penny today, it serves as a reminder of how even the smallest, most everyday items can hold great value and tell a unique story. It may be just 1 cent, but for those who appreciate the artistry and history of coinage, it's worth so much more. Top 5. In 2009, the United States Mint produced a special series of 1-cent coins that commemorated the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. But what makes the 2009 penny truly fascinating isn't just its historical significance, it's the story of how a simple coin can hold so much value, both in terms of its rich history and in the rare instances when it fetches astronomical prices at auction. Let's step back in time for a moment. The 1-cent coin, or penny as we commonly call it, has been a staple of American currency for over 2 centuries. It's been through numerous changes in design, composition, and even production techniques. But in 2009, things were a little different. For the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint produced a series of pennies that reflected different stages of Lincoln's life. This was the first time in history that the penny underwent such a transformation in a single year. The 2009 Lincoln pennies were minted in 4 distinct designs, each capturing a significant moment from the life of the 16th president. The first design featured an image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been the standard design for the penny since 1959. The second design depicted a young Lincoln in his log cabin, marking his humble beginnings in the frontier. The third showed him as a young lawyer, and the fourth featured Lincoln's presidency and his role in the Civil War. Each of these coins was minted in both copper-plated zinc and the original copper composition. But what truly caught the eye of collectors was the new reverse design for 2009, which highlighted Lincoln's journey from a poor frontier boy to the leader of a nation. It was a tribute to his legacy, a legacy that would soon make this humble penny an object of great interest in the numismatic world. Now, when we think about the value of a penny, most of us picture the shiny, copper-colored coin that clinks harmlessly into our pockets. But some pennies, especially those from the 2009 series, have become highly sought after in the collector's market. It's not just about the rarity of these coins. It's about the unique history they represent. Some 2009 pennies, particularly those from the rarest mints or with certain minting errors, have sold for impressive amounts at auction. For instance, a 2009 S-proof penny, which was struck at the San Francisco Mint, can easily fetch prices upwards of $10 or more in pristine condition. But where things get really exciting for collectors is when we're talking about coins that are in perfect or near-perfect condition, like those graded MS-70 by professional grading companies. And here's the real eye-opener. Some 2009 pennies, like the 2009 S-double die penny, have sold for as much as $3,000 or more at auction. Yes, you read that correctly, a penny, the same one that many of us discard without a second thought, can be worth thousands of dollars. So what exactly makes these coins so valuable? It comes down to a few key factors: rarity, condition, and errors. For example, the 2009 S-double die penny features a unique error where the date and lettering are doubled, making it one of the most sought-after pennies for collectors. Similarly, any 2009 penny that has been preserved in mint condition, without a scratch or blemish, holds a premium. What's fascinating about this is that while a regular 2009 penny might only be worth its face value of 1 cent, those rare, pristine, or error-struck examples are a whole different story. It shows how something as simple as a penny, with the right historical context and characteristics, can become a valuable piece of history. Collectors have always had a deep appreciation for coins like the 2009 Lincoln pennies, not just because of their potential value, but because of the stories they tell. These coins are reminders of a pivotal moment in American history, Abraham Lincoln's legacy, and the way his life continues to inspire generations. If you happen to find a 2009 penny with a minting error or in pristine condition, you could be holding a small piece of history that could grow in value over time. Even the most common 2009 penny might be worth more than you think, especially if it's in perfect condition or has an error that makes it stand out. In the world of coin collecting, even a single penny can hold a wealth of significance. So next time you come across a 2009 penny in your pocket, take a closer look. It might just be worth far more than you expected. Whether it's the historical value, the minting errors, or simply the allure of owning a rare and valuable piece of American history, the 2009 1-cent penny stands as a testament to the fascinating world of numismatics. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the lucky collector to find that one special penny worth thousands at an auction.